This is Bishop Charles Ross. I am the senior pastor of Judah Now Church, one church, two locations, Pompano Beach, Florida, Capitol Heights, Maryland. I want to give a great big shout out to Dion Jackson, my girl. She has been so instrumental in assisting us with making sure that our media ministry is not only professional, but proficient. I'm grateful for her willingness to serve this ministry. I want you to know that Increase Media is the bomb.com. And for all of you who are looking for someone who is kingdom-minded, someone who is professional and proficient, I highly recommend Dion Jackson and Increase Media. We were a bunch of illiterate people around this church when it came to media ministry, and she stepped right in. She made us comfortable. She worked with us to ensure that we were able to accomplish the task. And I'm just so grateful to Dion. Dion, we are the better because of you. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much. For all of you who are looking to step up your game in your media ministry, you wanted to be professional, rather you're in the church or you're in the professional world, Dion and Increase Media is the way to go. I highly recommend them. Look them up, get at them, make it happen. I promise you, you'll thank me later. See you later.
Well, hey, y'all. Happy Saturday. We switched it up on y'all today, didn't we? Listen, hey, Inetta. Hey, Rochelle. Hey, Else. Hey, Miss Renee. Look, Overseer, Pastor Renee Winston, welcome. Stephanie, good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you. So happy to connect with you on this evening. I know this is a little bit different than Saturdays for most, are lazy days. Nevertheless, we still have momentum, and I'm extremely excited. Hey, Kim. Oh, is it freezing on me? Okay. Well, then this is what I do. I will get out of the way, restart my computer, but you guys will be able to enjoy this evening. Is it freezing for everyone? Is it freezing for everybody? Hey, Messy Bonita. Hey, Valuable. Hi, Krishna. Hey, Kenya. It's not freezing. Okay, so it may be you, sis. Okay, awesome. I'm glad to know that. You guys, I'm super duper. I mean, like, excited. And the crazy part, hey, Patty, good evening, is that as this 21 days approaches and starts to come into an end, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to quit. I happen to be out for a sister friend celebrating her birthday last night, and I saw somebody that is part of the reset that has not been posting. Every single exercise we did, guys, she said, "Oh no, I need you to look at this." And she started scrolling through her phone with the homework assignment after homework assignment, from closets to credit scores. She's been following along. She just hasn't said much. And testimony after conversation after conversation, I am blown away by the impact that you guys are making, right? That's no problem, sissy. The impact that you guys are making is mind-blowing. Your consistency, your consistent posts and encouraging words have really been blessing others. And so I just want to let you know, there is something greater in store. I had a conversation even today with my mother. So you guys look forward to some healing, very cathartic conversations in the immediate future. That being said, I'm not going to hold you guys super long. I want to go ahead and get you right in the groove of things. tonight is going to be one of those challenging nights, guys. You are going to be asked vulnerable questions with the concept or the idea of receiving vulnerable answers. You know how we move around. We are extremely hot around these parts, and we want to keep it that way. And I guarantee you it won't stop. There will be levels to this, right? So I'm really excited. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring Tanya in, and you guys be blessed. Grab your notepad, get in a quiet space, because this is one of those questions that is kind of going to jar you. You guys ready? All right, here we go.
Well, it's Saturday. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are viewing this, because I realize some of you are actually viewing it live, and a few of you may catch the recording, or you may decide to listen to my little heart share again. Well, if you don't know by now, my name is Tania Not Tanya. Okay. And I am going to share with you good morning. I am going to share with you, this is my finale. Last weekend was pretty heavy. I didn't intend it to be, but it was. And so I don't apologize. That was what the Lord wanted you guys to hear. And so this weekend, this Saturday, my plan is to, well, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to crush some of y'all's toes. I don't mean to, but it's what the Lord has given me. So let's get started. All right. And if you want to, you can share this with somebody. Don't keep all this goodness to yourself. And this has been an amazing journey. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about that on the end, but I really want to jump in here. So pardon me for not acknowledging some of the comments. I really want to focus on what I believe God has for me to give to you. And, you know, I'm old looking at comments. Hey, y'all, looking at comments and trying to keep up I haven't learned that skill yet. So will you pardon me? I'm not being rude. I want to talk to you today about a word. It's the P word, and it is called purpose. Now, as the teacher in me, I want to define what purpose is. It says, the dictionary says, purpose is the reason for which something is done, created, or exists. Again, the reason for which something is done, created, or exists. Now, there are synonyms for the word purpose, like motive, grounds, cause, impetus. Okay. That's as a noun, the reason for which something is done, created, or exists. As a verb, purpose is defined as one's intention or objective. I want you to keep that in the back of your minds as we go on this journey together today. All right. Now, what's the big deal about purpose? I mean, you know, maybe you've heard people say that before. You might have heard someone say, well, I know that my purpose is, I know I was created to do X, Y, Z. And maybe you didn't really give it any thought. But what's the big deal? Well, as kingdom citizens, if you are a believer, you are a blood-bought, born-again believer, and whether you are or not, but all of us have purpose, first of all. Whether you are a believer or not, all of us have purpose. But as kingdom citizens, those individuals that love God, those individuals that live their lives for Him, those individuals that believe that He exists, and all those wonderful things, we were created as kingdom citizens. We are having, first of all, a spiritual experience in a human body. We are spirits having a human experience. Okay. We are tripart beings. That means that our body, we have a body that houses the spirit, and that spirit is the part of us that communicates with God. It's the part of us that God created, that gives us the desire to want to fellowship and want to communicate with Him. That's the spirit, man. And then there's the soul, the mind, the will, the emotions. And understand we have a free will of choice. That's how God designed it. He didn't want robots. He wanted people that would willingly, lovingly obey him and serve him. The great thing is that in serving him, it's not like master servant. He is our master, our creator, but it's not like that where he has his foot on our neck and he forces us to do things. He does not force us to do anything. We have a choice all day, every day. Here's the thing: we have problems, though. We have problems, and those problems, as human beings, are designed to be solved, not pampered. Let me say that to you again. The problems that we experience are designed, they are allowed in our lives so that they can be solved, not pampered. So what happens is that what we're supposed to do is identify the problem, assess it, come up with a solution, and then resolve it. Let me say it again. We are supposed to identify the problem, because we're going to have them. I don't care whether you love Jesus or not. You're going to have some problems. You're going to have some, I prefer to call them challenges, as opposed to, because problems, sometimes people look at them negatively. And so I don't want to put anything negative on it, because then it makes it look like God is punishing us because we have a problem. And that, my sister, my brother, yes, I know some of you brothers are listening to that. That is not the purpose of the challenges or the problems that we have. Let me go on. We are assigned to earth for purpose. Okay, I know where I'm going. I'm still within the identify, assess, solution, and resolve the problems. Understand, we are assigned to earth for purpose. This is why it's so important to identify and understand what yours is. Your purpose, listen to this. For those of you saying, well, I don't know what my purpose is. God hasn't chosen. Let me tell you, let me give you a key. You ready? This is free. Your purpose is to resolve problems. That's number one. Your purpose, sir, ma'am, is to resolve problems. Now, one method to discover your purpose is by identifying what frustrates you. Now, this is not a completely deep revelation that God gave me. I heard a Pastor Darius. Oh my God, Darius. It starts with the last name starts with a D. I don't remember. And that thing jumped on me. That word jumped in my spirit, and I could not let it go. I could not release it. And the Lord told me, this is what you're to teach on, purpose, because that's part of my purpose, which is to help people identify their purpose. Now, that sounds like a bunch of rigmarole, but I promise it's not. It's all going to make sense. Now, again, your purpose is to resolve problems. One method to discover what your purpose is by, again, identifying what frustrates you, not the people that are around you, not your husband, your spouse, your spouse, your siblings, your coworkers. What frustrates you? Okay, not every little thing. That's not for example, a nasty house is frustrating to me. Going into a public place, a restaurant, and the bathroom is nasty, that frustrates me, because I immediately wonder, what in the world does their kitchen look like? And I'm finna eat here? Oh my God. All right. So not little bitty things. I'm not called now on the flip side of that, if buildings and homes frustrate you to the point where, that's what you do. You love doing it. It's a part of who it comes naturally to you. You clean really, really well. That's not my gifting, though. I'll get frustrated with it, but it's not my gift. It's not part of my purpose. That's not one of the solutions for which I am created to solve. However, I'm responsible for keeping a clean house. That's just me. I hope you're understanding the difference that I make. Let me make it a little bit different. Or give you a different scenario. You got to know the difference in fierce frustration, those things that wear you out, those things that agitate you, right? That's it agitates you. If it agitates you, it actually may well be your assignment, but you've got to examine it. Okay. Again, remember what I said about the solutions the problems we identify, assess, come up with a solution, and then we resolve it. Right. So still talking about purpose, that thing that agitates you, that thing where it bothers you, but the people around you, it doesn't bother them. And you're like, doesn't that bother you? Then that's something for you to take a closer look at, assess it, and determine if, in fact, this is one of the purposes of your life. I'm not, you may have several. I'm not saying there's only one. Okay. All right. Let's talk about that word resolve, though. I want to drill down on that. You find ways to resolve the solution. You find ways to resolve the problem. But let's look at the word again: resolve, resolve, resolve. Right. So we resolve the broken thing that causes the frustration. So we are called to resolve some stuff, right? And we want to settle or find a solution so that we can decide firmly on a course of action. So then what happens is we give the problem a redo, a makeover. We change its course. Are you following me? All right. So again, what irritates you? Let's start there. Think about that for a minute. Okay. It is a start, but it is not necessarily the arrival. Okay. Let's go a little bit deeper. I don't want you to beat yourself up about having not identified your purpose yet. And the reason that I don't want you to beat yourself up is because I didn't really discover mine until 2010. I had turned 50, or I was approaching 50. And I really started to feel uncomfortable. At the time, I was working for Goodwill Industries. I was the director of a transportation academy where we taught people how to drive commercial vehicles. Okay. All right. So God gave me that assignment. I helped to birth that program into existence. There had never been one before. And after they laid me off, guess what happened? It fizzled. I don't have time to go into details about all the amazing things that happened, the miracles, the sustainability that we had over the 11 years, I think, that are however many years. I think I was there 7 years. Anyway, I was starting to feel uncomfortable. I was starting to feel uneasy. God was identifying. He was helping me to see the lies that my managers and upper management were beginning to tell me. And just things were off base. And so I knew that I was restless, but I didn't know why, because God gave me this transportation academy through them, right? We were helping a lot of people, so on and so forth. And I got my timer on here because, 21 minutes. But at any rate, I felt like the assignment was ending. I knew it was. I knew in my spirit that it was ending. And I began to let my staff know, you guys, I love working with you, but something is happening. I don't know what is happening. I don't know when it's going to happen. I know we got to finish this grant out, so they're not going to do anything this year, but I know something is happening, and I would hate to lose you right now. But if you feel that you've got to go, I don't want you guys to be caught in a layoff or whatever. Anyway, I could feel that there was more to life. I just did not know what. At that time, my husband and I were helping my dad in ministry. We would go to work, we would go to church, we would do the things that we did in ministry, and then pay our bills once we got paid. And then we would press repeat, and Monday it would happen all over again. And I remember saying to God, is this it? Is this all I'm going to do for the rest of my life and then die and go to heaven? Surely there is more to life than this. God, what's next? And so I would ask him that question. Yes, I did. I would ask him that question, but I wasn't getting the answers. And so I thought that there must be more to life. There had to be a better plan than this, but I didn't know what it was. And I remember saying, how can I honor you with my life? There has to be more to what's going on. I was doing a little bit of teaching at the time, but it wasn't consistent. So I decided that I was going to go on a consecration. What's a consecration? It's just an extended fast. But I did an old school fast. no television, no social media, no entertainment, very little talking to people. Sometimes you'll hear Dion joke about me coming into the shop, because I was literally going to the shop every 2 weeks at that point. And it would be one of those times when I would say, I'm not doing a lot of talking today. And she would honor that. And I would get lost in my word. I don't even think we had we might have had headphones back then, and I might have put those on, but I had learned how to tune people out and focus on my word, because I was searching. That was my job. I had to search for, what is it that you want me to do? I knew that he had a plan for me. I knew that I had to unearth it, though. And so I remember bugging God. The scripture tells us, it says, all day and all night, they will never be quiet. You who help the Lord remember, do not rest. That's an instruction. And give him no rest until he builds Jerusalem and makes it a praise in the earth. That's Isaiah 62, 6b through 7. And I read it from the New Living Bible. The New Living Translation. At any rate, I remember being on this consecration. Carl was out of town, so it was perfect. The house was quiet. We were living in Vallejo. This is before we lost our home, so it was 2010. After a day or several, I recall sitting in the living room. I could still see it. I was sitting in the living room. I was sitting on the couch. I had my pen and my pad. I didn't even have my laptop. I had my pen and my pad, and I was ready. And I had been praying and meditating about that question, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? Why am I here on earth? I know there has to be more to life than helping my dad build his ministry. What do you have? I don't mind being in the shadows, but am I missing something? Because there's an uneasiness that is driving me bananas. I'm agitated with the lack of organization. I'm agitated with the fact that the ministry at that time is operating in the Stone Ages. We are going to war using 18th century tools, 18th century weapons. That's how it felt to me. We've got to modernize. There are some things, but I can't really do it because I'm working a full-time job, blah, 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 blah. All right. So I'm sitting in my living room. I'm prepared so that when the Lord gives me what it is that I'm supposed to do, I can write it down. I won't have to commit it to memory and forget it, because I might forget some of the key details. And so I'm sitting there and I'm writing it down. And all of a sudden, guys, there was a flood of enlightenment. And all of a sudden he spoke to me, not audibly, but I heard it right down in my spirit. He said, he spoke with intention and assuredness. That it was so intentional that it almost spooked me. Like he had been silent, for a day or so, or whatever, how long, I don't remember how many days he had been silent. And I'd been reading my Bible and finding scriptures about things that people did, the different work that they did, Dorcas in the Bible, and so many others, Ananias and Sapphira, so many others. I've been reading about them. And all of a sudden, he said, your purpose is to teach, write, and to serve. Let me say it again. Your purpose is to teach, write, and to serve. And so I wrote it out as my life's mission. And so that is what helps to guide me. If what I am asked to do is not to serve, to write, and to teach, I don't do it, because it takes me off track of my purpose. And so I thought, well, okay, everything he's saying makes sense. It's like the puzzle pieces came together. It's like I put on the glove and it fit. It made so much sense to me. But then I had to ask myself, I had to sit in it, right? I had to figure out what's next, though. Teach, write, serve. Do I serve everybody? No, that was confined to, he limited that as well. There was a drill down. But what I realized is that I'm going to now have to cultivate this purpose that he's given me, I'm going to now have to fine tune it, because right now it's raw. And so what I did was, he gave me what I'm supposed to do to resolve solutions or problems in the earth, challenges in the earth. But now what I have to do in my job is to perfect what he gave me. But how do I perfect it? I began reading, not just the Bible, but books on servanthood. I began to, one of them was John, his name is going out of my head. Oh my God. He wrote a book on being a servant leader. Starts with an M. It doesn't matter. It's not important. But I began to read books by, I also started listening to YouTube videos about leadership, servant leadership, because you do know that there are dogmatic ways to serve, and then there are servant leaders. In addition to that, the right part, I made a decision primarily to go back to school to fine tune my talent as a writer. I published my first book, The Fire Didn't Burn Us, as just off as a high school graduate with no formal training other than the Holy Spirit giving me what to write. I did pretty good too, but I realize now where I could have fine-tuned some areas, but that's okay. The next book that's coming out before this year is out, I can't tell you the title yet. Remember, I'm protecting my baby until I'm really ready to start promoting it. But trust me, my book is coming out before the end of this year. And so you guys will be some of the very first people that will get a chance to hear about when it's going to be released. And maybe you'll be invited to the release party just because you guys have been so radical with me. All right, let me get back to purpose. And so I went back to school, and I fine-tuned my skills as a teacher. Can I tell you how God set that thing up for me to fine-tune my skills as a teacher? In 2013 or 2014, whenever we whenever we started Declare Victory. Oh my God, I'm almost out of time. I got to speed it up. The Lord had me. I thought Dion tricked me, but it really was God who set it up so that I taught every day, 7 days a week for a year. Every day, 7 days a week for a year. Do you hear me? And without fail, every time I had to prepare, God gave me a fresh word. I never went on the internet and found books or prepaid messages. God gave me a fresh word for Declare Victory every single day for over a year. And it is at that point, I mean, I knew I could teach, but it was at that point that I discovered my true gift for storytelling and the art in which he gave me to teach. Okay, so it fell in line with the scripture. I don't have it right now. Maybe Dion could post it later, but it says, older women, you are to teach the younger women. And it goes on about how to love their husbands and so on and so forth. And so I was able to do some one-on-one mentoring and coaching, as well as some group coaching. So as I wind it up, here's a question for you. Is this it? That's the question I want you to sit in and ask yourself, is this it? Life. And you may have a career and a profession and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your life's work. I'm talking about what God intended for you to do once you got here on earth. Okay. I want you to ask the question, is this all life has to offer? What I'm doing right now. And then here's a question to you. Are you fulfilled? Not happy. Happy is an emotion, but are you full? Have you been fulfilled? Are you full of joy? Joy unspeakable and full of glory. Not emotion, because emotions, they fluctuate. Okay. Are you at peace with who you are? I'm not talking about the little flaws that we have. Yes, we could use, you might want to lose a few little pounds. You might want to get a little bit more organized. We've talked about those external things. Sam, thank you so much. I'm in my skinny jeans today, and I wish I could stand up and show y'all. I'm gonna wear these skinny jeans today. You hear me? And my belt buckle. Listen, when I first put this belt on, it was a little challenge. But yeah, I think I'm in hole number 4 or something. I'm so happy. I'm gonna keep going. All right, now, are you at peace with who you are and how you are living? Not your past, because your past, I'm not focused on your past, who you were in your past, but your past, don't discount it. Your past equals life lessons. If you learned anything from them, even if you go back in your mind and you didn't learn anything at that point, but right now you can reflect on some of the things that you could do, that you did, excuse me, and you can reflect on how you can help others to avoid certain things. Those mistakes are not a waste. That's what I really want you to understand. Here's another question. Have you passed life's exams? You do know that we get these exams periodically, sometimes a little bit more often than others. Sometimes we get mini quick quizzes, and sometimes we get prolonged final exams. My question to you is, have you passed those exams? Have you released those offenders? Now, I'm not going to get real deep on this because I'm not a licensed clinical psychologist like Sabrina and Vernis, who gave it to us like last night. I mean, not last night, but yeah, it was. This is Saturday, Friday. They let us have it, right, in a very delicate way. But I know I get it. The offender, it was foul what they did. I'm not trying to minimize that at all. But have you released them? Because as long as you hold them hostage to the offense, it will be difficult for you to move forward. That's why it's so important to release your offenders. And it takes some work, and you got to be willing to do it. I want to go on. Okay. It happened. One of the ways we release them is acknowledging it happened. And so we want to move forward and asking God to show us how to forgive them. Okay. All right, let me move on. Because we can't change our past, but we can learn from it. And that's my point. You can decide today. It's a decision, you guys. We make it a really big deal, and it is a big deal, but it starts with a decision. You can make a decision to stay on Stuck Street. You can make a decision to stay on Stuck Street, to remain a victim. Or you can make a decision that you're going to benchmark where you are today, and that you will measure your progress so that you can begin the journey to resolving or releasing those things that happened in your past. That's what I'm trying to say. You can make your pain priceless by changing it into a life lesson that you share with others who have or will experience something similar to your story. And it may not be on big stages. It may not be on podcasts. It may not be on lives like this. It may not be. It may be with individuals. It may be with small groups. It doesn't matter. Everybody doesn't have to be on a big stage, but what I'm telling you is this: you can rewrite the narrative of your life. You can rewrite the story and now include purpose. I believe that some of the things that we've gone through, especially the major things, are a part of the purpose in our life. Now, it may not be the purpose, but it is a part of the purpose. It makes up who we are as people. And so I want to let you know, I'm giving you, let me put it this way, I'm giving you permission to rewrite your story. Brother or sister, whoever you are and that I'm speaking to right now, if these words are resonating with you, if there are tears streaming down your face, it's cool. Examine them. Don't wipe them so quick. Examine them. I'm giving you permission to rewrite the story. You get to be the author of your story. Don't listen to the other people who tell you, you got to stay here. You got to stay on Stuck Street. You can't move. Yes, I can. I'm packing my bags and I'm leaving. And you don't need anybody's permission to do that. I'm not saying leaving your husband. I'm not saying leaving your kids. I'm talking about leaving where you were. And that is being stuck. You have the power through the Holy Spirit who will help you if you engage him. Remember, I told you, God, who is also the Holy Spirit, will not force you to do anything. But I'm telling you, he stands ready at attention which is why I'm focused on this so much today. All right. But you got some work to do. Okay. You got some work to do, and you got to be willing to do the work. And here's it. Here's some more questions. You ready? What is your purpose? That's part of the question. It dovetails into what I asked before. Is this it? And I'm only suggesting these questions because it's how it is what motivated me to dig deeper. So question, what is your purpose? One of the ways that we find that is, why are you here? What contribution are you supposed to make in the earth before you die? We all are going to die. It is appointed unto man once to die, and after this, the judgment. In addition to dying, we're going to be judged based upon the work that we did here on earth. Did you take the talents that God gave you and bury them so that you could be cast into outer darkness? Or did you take the talents and you began to use them? You invested some time in some of them, but not all of them, like the man who had the talents and only invested part of them, but he did get a return. So let's equate that to going to school, getting a degree, and getting a job. Or you just graduated high school and then you got a really good job and you're using the talents that you have to be a blessing to your employer. That's part of it. I want you to be like the man with all of the talents who invested all of them. So all of the gifts, all of the talents that he had, he used them to glorify the master. That's what I want us to get to. That's the point that I've been trying to get to for the last few minutes. Oh my God, it's so late. I've got to get out of here. But how do we do this, Tanya? You can't tell me to do this and you not give me an answer. How? The way that you do it is that you ask how. You ask the right questions so you can get the right answers. Listen, I trust and pray that you've been blessed by what I shared this morning, and that you are encouraged to do the work, you guys. You can't just ask God and expect him to be like a genie where he just all of a sudden, poof, here's the answer. No, we got to be willing to do the work. That's it. I'm way over time. I didn't mean to go this long, but it was important for me not to leave you hanging. It was important for me to get to the conclusion of the whole matter. I'm so excited about all the amazing things that are going to continue to happen. And listen, don't forget to tune in tomorrow so we can end this 21 days properly. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Go be great today. Maybe Dion will jump in a little bit later. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta go. Love y'all. Can you hear me?
It's me. Oh. Sorry. I was muted because, I was muted. I am literally Tan at, I found it. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, you found what?
It was December the 3rd, 2014. And I'm actually going to save this picture and I am going to share it via the StreamYard. Okay. December 3rd, 2014. Get this. Do you remember the day you and I went to an event that Gloria Brown invited us to?
Was it December the 3rd?
It was December the 3rd of 2014, sis. So you lied by 4 years. Mm-hmm. You had lied because I remember specifically us.
Oh my God. It was raining that day.
Hard.
Neither of us wanted to go. And we were like, why are we here? Oh my God, go ahead and finish. Yes.
And they asked a question. What is your purpose? And I remember she and I, and I'm going to show you this picture because we had a really good time. It was difficult to get there. It was a press. It was a really odd press to get there. I had just been home some months. We were going through hell at that time. It was I guess not even a year into Declare Victory, and we didn't know what was happening. And we didn't know what was happening. The crazy thing is Declare Victory started out just like this radical reset. We were just, I'm like, this is crazy. Like I'm blown away. I feel some kind of way. I don't even know, like I feel like my nerve endings are alive. No, swear, I promise. But we were sitting at the table, and I remember when the people, were rattling off what they do and who they were. And Tanya and I kind of looked at each other and were like, well,
what do you do? I go to church.
I go to church a lot, and I look, and I comb hair, and she work at Goodwill.
No, I was fired by
Oh,
then.
you was fired, buddy. Oh yeah. We were in
then the whole mess that happened at Truho.
I was gonna say we were in December. We were in the thick of it.
Up. We were messed up.
It was really, really, and listen, that was just 7
years ago.
Years ago. Listen, pay attention.
Wow.
So there may be a few Selah moments, because like I feel a thing, just so we can hash it out, because you gotta understand that was 7 years ago.
7 years ago. That's crazy. Oh my God, my life has changed so much in 7 years.
Not only has it changed, but there's a level of excitement that I have for you guys that I don't really know how to explain, because I understand that we completed a system right here.
And what's going on is, and so you guys don't be offended when we talk. So what's happening right now? We're both getting
download.
We're both getting a download.
So
she'll interrupt me. I'll interrupt her. But it's just how we communicate, because we are vibing. And
yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. And if you understood that, now get this, sissy, 7 years that we were riding. I remember we got in the car and we were both a little stuck after it, because now our wheels are turning, and we kind of felt about like how I feel right now. Like, oh my God. We were in a room of really, really powerful people.
Yes. It was great energy in there. But we knew, if you'll allow me to say it this way, we were like out of our league, because we didn't know who we were. And we didn't know what we were supposed to be doing.
The other day.
Yeah. And we dare not open our mouths and say, we don't know. These were women of color that were movers and shakers.
Well, but it was a very diverse room. That's the part.
Okay. Yeah. When I say women of color, I don't just mean Black. Like there were some Asians there. There were some Hispanic, Latinos there, Latinas there. But there was a mix of people. It just
remember this picture? This is my favorite picture.
Oh my God.
And while we were there, we blew bubbles.
Yes, we did.
And at the time, my relationship with my mother was awful.
And mine with my dad was the pits.
We were just in really, and I was combing hair, wanting to throw up in my mouth, because I knew I wasn't.
Hold on a second. Yes, Rochelle, we are. And we don't know how, what, just make sure you got on some good, comfortable shoes and put an extra pair in your backpack, because we are on our way somewhere. Okay, go ahead.
But this time, we aren't confused, because we already did this.
Mm-hmm. Man.
We already, we are, and listen, 7 for that day, 8 for Declare Victory. Mm-hmm. Complete new beginning, no doubt, right? Mm-hmm. So 8 people in this original ensemble, another new beginning, right? The only difference is we're not confused about where we are. We are now operating in what we didn't have the ability to articulate. So everything is full circle. But get this, I came home in 2013. So it's another 8 for me. Right? I came home in 2013.
Yeah.
I left in 2008.
What's today?
Today I came home March 13th of 2013.
I'm gonna hang up now. I'm gonna hang up.
Like so this is unfolding as I'm talking to y'all. Like, right, like all the revelation.
That's crazy.
Dude.
So mark your calendar.
I'm in my 12th year of when I told God yes. Fully. Like I'd been saved. But I'm not doing that. I got that part. You take care of this, and this, Jesus. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to handle the rest. So I'm in my 12th year. We are in the 8th year celebration. Get this. I made that vision board that's up on my wall right here in my room 8 years ago in November 13th. Only reason I know it's because I just looked at it trying to find these pictures. Right. So now I'm sitting here and all I could do is watch it happen. And the impact.
Come on, Rochelle.
Listen. I know. I want to get up and take off running.
Because when if you understand, so some of you don't understand what we're talking about with declare victory, and we've talked about it a little bit. First of all, the 8 that Dion is talking about is Sam, Lizzie, Simone, Sabrina, Vernis, me, Chrissy, and Dion. That's the 8 that she was referring to. But if you guys understand the journey about declare victory, it was just about, just wanting to pray. And it has become, it's an organism that operates whether Dion is on the call or me. I rarely teach anymore. Just because of my schedule now. I'm looking forward to getting back to it, but maybe I teach. Listen, I was teaching every day.
For one whole year, to the degree that Carl wanted to kill me.
Listen. He was like, so I had to prepare my lessons when he wasn't at home. So I wasn't taking any time away from us. I tried to get, but it wasn't for him. I tried to get him to help and participate and do some couples things or whatever. But he was like, nah. But listen to this. Carl secretly.
Listen.
He listened.
He snuck and listened. And the reason that we don't talk about it a lot is because we don't ever want anybody to think that we're trying to push you into that. This is not that. But can I identify something else for you all, though?
I'm going to get some water. I'm still listening. I'm just going to take my camera off a minute.
Have you guys noticed that the reset is functioning all by itself? There's not a whole bunch of of course we navigate it. Now, if you know anything else about me, what you'll learn is I build stuff. So by the time it's all over, it'll have a full functionality with back end stuff and some of you guys making sure that it's operational to the degree it doesn't need me. I only said that because it has morphed into something I hadn't really anticipated. I didn't expect that high level of participation. Now, keeping in mind that Declare Victory averages about anywhere between 85 and 155 people on a telephone call every day at 6 a.m. from all over the country.
For the last how many years?
8. If I show up or if I don't, with a full back end staff, Rochelle being one of them, who is a complete blessing.
Absolutely.
There's so much. And when I say so much to all of this, you guys, I am so excited about your future, because not just myself and Tanya have begun to walk in purpose, but really, when I look at Gloria, when I look at Elsie, when I look at Shell, there are so many. When I look at my sister Chrissy, when I look at, and she wasn't part of the call, but I'm watching people morph into something they didn't expect or anticipate. And so I'm really excited for what is going to happen in each of your lives. And I'm even more excited because as we continue, God keeps downloading these things. If you guys notice, for the last 3 days, I've been pretty quiet. I've been quiet because I've been preparing for after the 21 days. You notice I started asking things like, do we have passports? Everybody needs to get their passport updated if you don't already. There are lots of things that are coming down the pipe. And I know that this started as a 21-day reset, but Tan, guess what? You're going to be excited. You want to know? You want me to told you? You don't got to go nowhere.
You can say
it. This one, no, it's not. I promise I'm not bullying you. I promise. Guess what Jackie said?
What'd she say?
She said she ready for the mother-daughter table talks.
Shut your mouth.
If you guys knew what that represents, especially,
really?
She just said it today.
See, y'all wasn't supposed to do that other thing. This was meant.
It wasn't time.
Oh my God, that is gonna bless so many people.
It wasn't time, but guess where we're gonna introduce it? In the reset, the private group only.
What? That's hot.
Yeah. So
that's good too. That's a nice, intimate.
Nice, because I don't want to overwhelm her, because this whole social media thing is not her thing, right?
Okay.
And it's a very vulnerable conversation. It's a very transparent conversation, because our relationship was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
And listen,
felt bad for Dion, but she felt bad for me. Bad.
Yes. Yeah, but y'all relationship wasn't horrible. Y'all relationship had a halt. Those are two different things. I mean, my entire, from childhood up, I just was like, honey, I don't know, where did y'all get her from, Kmart or what?
You know what, ma'am?
I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. But she's an amazing person. Just the parental relationship was jacked up. You hear me? But can I tell you a secret? Power belongs to God.
Yes, it does. Power belongs to God.
There is nothing too hard for God. Sorry. There's nothing too hard for God. If you guys saw the relationship that we have today, Chrissy, you messy. And
right.
I asked you,
why you didn't jump in and harmonize with us?
Right. She was supposed to. She probably was. She probably started singing because she's slow like that. I am so grateful for the level of, because it's not even restoration. He gave us an entirely
new
relationship. Yes. He really, really did. He gave us a relationship that is unrecognizable to people. Like when we went on vacation, like for real, I started getting text messages. Hey, is you all right? Not, are you all right? Is you all right? That's how ugly it was.
At her ex-mother-in-law's house, Big Mama house.
At my ex-mother-in-law. I love my ex-mother-in-law. She's so dope. I will fight her son about her. Y'all know how. Ain't that special? Who does that? I love her desperately. She's amazing. Under whatever circumstance, guys, that is a very big milestone for me. And it's a very big milestone for her. A curse has absolutely been broken for generations to come. That's what we are. We are on our way to curse breaking. That's why we've been talking about grieving so much. Grieving the idea of what you thought it should be, grieving the idea of what you had created, the life you built with an expectation, grieving the disappointment because it didn't look it doesn't look like what you thought it should look like. The expectation of being happily married forever and after, right? And then you get this, that's not what it was. And then you have to learn how to live it, right? All of these different things, all of these different ideas and ideals that we've had of our life. I'm so grateful that God has this uncanny knack of unfolding truth and love, of teaching us how to love ourselves through his lenses, teaching us how to trust him in and through all things, respecting each and every step, understanding that it was ordered. And when we need a different type of breath, he gives us hinds feet to tread in high places. When we need a different type of air, he's so wise that he'll separate us from the pack in an effort not to isolate us or to punish us, but to hide us and to cover us while we recover. And so his faithfulness. And again, if you're not a believer, don't feel any kind of way. Whatever you believe, however you believe it, this is just what has been life and breath for me. Having a spirit relationship, having soundness of mind and congruency of mind, body, spirit, soul, and allowing God to introduce me, hallelujah, to his idea of me. One single step at a time, right? Because I had my own idea. Purpose is not your idea of you.
Right.
This was not my idea of my life.
It's certain. Let me tell you something. Every now and then, so not long after Carl passed and I moved in with Sabrina, every now and then I would go, I live at Sabrina's house. And I would look in my room that I had. I actually live in Sabrina's house. I have a room in somebody's house now. Sabrina, by the way, bought that house on June 29th, my birthday. She closed on June 29th. And this is divert just a little bit. Divert just a little bit. When she was getting ready to move, I don't know what happened. I just happened to be talking to her. And that week I had to rent a vehicle and they made a mistake. They didn't have any other vehicles. They ended up giving me an SUV. And she was like, well, I'm in the middle of moving. I was like, well, who's helping you? Oh, well, somebody was, but she was just in her car. I said, because I was living in El Sobrante, I'll come over to your house and I'll bring some stuff to your house. 6 months later, I was moving in there. About 6 months later or so, I was moving into her house, living there. And the same thing happens to me here at my parents' house. I cannot believe I live in my parents' house. I cannot. It's just, I'm not in denial. It is. And God, what do you have next? And so it's been a blessing to watch you all, to watch your transformations, to watch you embrace, to trust this process. This is a process that has begun. It doesn't end because we're not doing the 21 days anymore, every day or whatever. It doesn't end, but to watch the way that so many of you have embraced this process is truly exciting. To hear about people losing weight, to hear about people making choices to get their credit score together, to straighten their closet out. Yes, right. I can imagine, else. I can imagine. But there's purpose even in that, because there are some couples, they can't even um, remain in the same room, let alone live in the same space. And so, if we could go back just a little bit to your purpose, why are you here? Can I tell you something? An epiphany that I had as we were sharing. One of the reasons that a reason that some people are not able to maintain a consistency in a project that they take on is because the why isn't big enough.
Mm-hmm.
See, when the why is not big enough, you easily say, "Oh yeah, I'm not doing that."
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yes, Elsie, that's beautiful that it's healing for both of you and the children. But when the
Absolutely.
why is big enough, like the why is so big that I cannot exist. I won't be able to breathe until I do this thing. I realize this thing is bigger than me, or whatever the case is. That's the fuel that gives you that ignites you to keep going when you don't feel like going. All right. So we need to close it out because we'll go on and on and on. It's been over an hour.
And
And
we got a lot of memories.
a lot.
And we got a lot of story to go with all these years in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots. That's a whole nother conversation. And
Yep.
that's a whole nother book, literally, because we could absolutely write one. Now we could. We
Probably
probably
gonna have to do a movie or something.
I know, I think that would be anybody a playwright in this thing. Anyway, for real. Um,
We got
yeah.
to go. It's Saturday night. Y'all
So
need to get back to your family. But don't forget the questions that I asked. I'm not going to go over them. If you
who
don't
are you
remember,
without stuff? Who are
hmm?
you without titles? Who are you
Mm,
without things? Who are you outside of your children? Who are you outside of your husband? Who are you in your singleness? Who are you? What were you designed to solve? Say la. I hope you don't sleep till you start asking yourself that question. I hope your rest is broken.
uh-uh.
I do. I mean it. And I will not take it back. Hi, Miss Catherine.
You got to find out, guys. This is big.
It's
The
it's
the
life
world,
altering.
yeah. And I know we said we're gonna go, and we really are. But I'll say this last little thing, and then we're leaving. You're cheating the world as long as you don't serve the world
With
the
your
way that God intended. There are people, listen, there are people that are waiting on you to show up. You have what they need. You,
Mhm.
not somebody else. Your experience, Catherine, Elsie, Kenya, Gloria, Kim, Valicita, your experience, they're waiting on your story. Again, it may not be on a big stage. It might be what you think is a chance conversation. So
Mhm. Nothing is
I could go
chance.
on and on and on. We got to go.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Nothing.
We're leaving. We'll meet you guys back right here tomorrow, 7:21 p.m. Um, Listen, I'm excited about what's coming after this 21 days ends. I look forward to seeing you grow, but more importantly, walking directly into your purpose. Thanks, sis. Have a great night. Do it. You know what you're supposed to do. What's your name? Are you frozen? Frozen. She's frozen, y'all. She's Tanya, not Tanya. I'm Dion. They call me the radical one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing, amazing night. Thanks so much for joining us. Night, guys.